CD Projekt Red knew that older hardware was too limiting for their goals. If they had to restrict The Witcher 3's memory for last-gen consoles, they wouldn't be able to achieve the level of photorealism that they thought they could hit with this game. CD Projekt wanted to build a world with a functioning ecosystem and day-night cycle, with elaborate cities and grass that swayed in the wind. They wanted players to be able to explore the entirety of each region without waiting for parts of the game to load. None of this would be possible on the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360. This is from a book called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Like many of you, I was excited for Cyberpunk 2077. Any game where I have meaningful choices that can fuck people over, I'm in for it. Cyberpunk had the worst launch in history, and it's fitting because it came out in 2020. One of the biggest takeaways from this launch was finding out CD Projekt Red was just like any other company. Profit over integrity.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this shit, not join them!
My biggest takeaway from the launch of Cyberpunk was that Witcher 3 was lightning in a bottle, and someone at CD Projekt Red left that bottle open and it ran out. Yo, what's good? You already know I'm KenWal, and I thought it was about time that I fully talked about Cyberpunk 2077. Again, like many of you, I was so excited to play this game, but we got bamboozled. Gotcha, bitch. And it did not turn out the way it was supposed to. It was like telling your mom you wanted an Xbox 360 and then she brings back a Wii. And you're like, wait, what is this? This is no disrespect to a Wii, but this is not what I asked for. And now CD Projekt Red is trying to fix the game. Last month, CD Projekt Red hosted a live stream where they revealed their biggest update yet that added free DLC and fixed bugs. I was at least hoping for the devs to be more transparent and to give out a new game plus, but instead most of the stream was the devs explaining to us how game development works.
The main idea behind making patches, of course, to improve a game and not to end up breaking it.
It's all good though. If we can bitch, I think it's only fair they can as well. Seriously, Cyberpunk exposed CD Projekt Red, and I'm specifically talking about the people at the top, not any of the developers. I can't look at CD Projekt Red the same way. As a matter of fact, to me, they are a mismanaged, unorganized company that probably won't deliver another Witcher 3 because it was lightning in a bottle.
That was harsh, but accurate.
I haven't touched Cyberpunk since I beat the game, and I was planning on playing it the other day, but then I just suddenly asked myself, why? It's been 9 months since this game has come out, and so I wanted to talk about the state of the game and if CD Projekt Red will be able to recover from this disaster. My answer is sadly no, and that's because of the top. As always, before we begin today's video, allow me to give you a friendly reminder to like this video, and if you end up enjoying it here on my channel, know that I give the best gaming news, rumors, and discussions. Other links in the description box below. Thank you, crew. How many people do you trust? I bet you that number probably isn't that big, and if it is, then shit, you must be a fool. It's very hard to find people you trust because trust takes time and action. Just ask Pan Am. How many missions did we have to go out of our way and help her bummy ass family? Wait, what? It was a choice, you were just simping. You know what? Fair, but it still proves my point. Trust is something that is very hard to gain, but can be lost in a blink of an eye. I'm sure by now you've all heard the comparisons between Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky, being that No Man's Sky took less time to fix, which is a very fair point. The other day, Cyberpunk 2077 received patch 1.31 that made roads wet.
You serious?
Of course, with all these patches, it came with a ton of fixes. After CD Projekt Red confirmed 1.3 didn't come with New Game Plus, I uninstalled the game and decided I will be back for the expansions, but then I thought to myself, next year is it's pretty packed with games. You got Sifu, Horizon, you got a whole bunch. Besides the fans of this game, why would anyone come back to this game? Like I said, we know who's gonna come back to this game. I probably will check this game out again when the expansions come back, but you can't lie, it's a valid question. The state of Cyberpunk after all these months is undeniably much better, but the game hasn't improved at all. The city is as empty as a Ubisoft game, and there's nothing to do after you beat the game. If you keep up with the game, then this should not be a surprise to you. If you don't, then be prepared to be disappointed. Basically, everything on their roadmap has been delayed. The good news is recently CD Projekt Red shared 160 employees are now working on the expansions, and data miners found files hinting at the multiplayer. Look, this game will sadly never be what it was going to be because it released for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, which is very ironic because CD Projekt Red knew they couldn't make The Witcher 3 for current gen consoles. That's why it only released for next gen. My guess is because Cyberpunk was so expensive to make, they wanted to cash in. It is just so unfortunate that they did this because now their reputation as a consumer-friendly company is now gone. You ever hear the saying, you never throw stones at a glass house? Well, clearly CD Projekt Red never did, because I remember these guys taking mad shots at EA and Bethesda. Well, look at y'all now. Seriously though, when you look at the development for this game, it's clear that the top executives didn't know what to do or how to handle this and thought they could just ride the wave of The Witcher 3. Because of that, this game had some really weird game design. Like, they wanted the open world to feel as free as GTA, but you couldn't hijack a car unless you had 6 strength. What the fuck? I want to get one thing clear. Hype did not kill this game. Yes, I agree the hype was a little too much, but telling people they shouldn't get hyped over something is just stupid to me, especially in this case. Newsflash, they fucking lied to everybody.
There's nothing wrong with the Xbox or PS4 versions.
Did Cyberpunk look great? Yes. People are going to get excited over something that looks good. I think that's what marketing is for. People don't want to buy anything that no one is talking about. That's marketing 101. What killed this game is the mismanagement and the leaders at CD Projekt Red. Before this game came out, several analysts told Forbes that the expectation was for CD Projekt Red to alternate releases of a new Cyberpunk and a Witcher game every 2.5 years. You see what I mean? Like, how? How is that possible when they are both massive open world games? And this is just one example of the buffoonery that the top executives were thinking at CD Projekt Red. The reason why I predict CD Projekt Red won't be able to make another hit of the same caliber as Witcher 3 is because of these people, the top. The top is mismanaged, disorganized, and because of that, it has caused many of their top talent to leave the studio. In an article from Jason Schreier, it was revealed that the game didn't really start full production till 2016, giving them 4 years to make the game. One of the biggest challenges that designers of the game faced was that the engine was being built during the development, which is not a good idea. Imagine making a movie while at the same time building the camera. The way they developed this game has caused such a rift in the staff that most of the staff that worked on The Witcher 3 is now gone. I'm not going to go over all of the issues, but it was clear that the top was not listening to the people actually putting in the work. CD Projekt Red will never be able to recover from Cyberpunk, but they can make a great game again. It all depends on them. They have very talented people and they can still hire many talented people because they are a AAA studio. But the top has to really look at themselves. This was not on the devs. Maybe it could be, but I'm not going to blame them. I blame the top. I never got the chance to really comment on if I like this game or not, so that's how I'm going to close out this video. You may not be able to tell, but Cyberpunk, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad game. My favorite parts have got to be the side missions and the characters. I loved all the side missions, the arcs. They were so dope. That was by far my favorite part of the game. And the other part that I really enjoyed of the game was just the city. And it's just so disappointing that they didn't take advantage of the city. What I was really disappointed with was, especially when I went to play The Witcher 3, the length of the main story, and it just proves that it was cut very short, and there was probably more things they wanted to get into, but because of what was going on in the background, the development of the game, they couldn't. And the story, I felt the main story really should have been a little bit longer, at least the same length as The Witcher 3. It just felt like a different game when I was playing the side missions. I felt it was very weird, again, going to the game design, how when you get done with the tutorial mission, just you open the map, it's a whole blob of shit all over. I'm like, yo, usually games, there's main missions that unlock those side activities. And the biggest problem I had with the game, and the reason why because initially my score when I first beat the game, I was like, you know what, nah, this game is like a 7 out of 10. Then I went back to playing the game. I'm like, wow, there is nothing to do in this game after you beat it. That is my biggest issue. There was no end game, and to me that really hurt the game, and that's why I dropped it to a 6. But overall, the game, again, it's a 6 out of 10. I think when people say it is the greatest game alive, I'm like, you must be on coke, because it is not the greatest game alive. I'm sorry. I don't even know how you can fathom that. I'm not trying to be a dick here, but it's not the greatest game in the world. They have a lot of great things in the game, but overall, it is not. You cannot say that. In conclusion, tell me if you are going to be returning to Cyberpunk when the expansions come out. Other than that, if you want to debate with me if this game was the greatest game you played, or if you want to debate that CD Projekt Red still has it in them, then let me know. As always, you already know I'm KenWal. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.